What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio, back with the latest and greatest on the channel. Had to bring my boy Josh on. You know, we got to collab every now and then.
Always.
The Super Bowl is in the rear view, and it's time that we start really diving into draft mode 2024 for the Washington Commanders. But how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good, man. Like I was telling you, a lot of y'all know I broke my glasses right before the Super Bowl even kicked off. I didn't even get to see the first 3 quarters, dude. I was pissed. I'm over here in the kitchen fucking like super gluing them together, which didn't even like work that well. But I got them fixed yesterday. I got some new ones yesterday, and I got some new ones in the mail coming in too. So I have a backup, so I'm not in that situation again. But yeah, man, it's full on draft mode and free agency mode. I got a free agency stream on Bleacher Report tomorrow that I was just working on.
Yes, sir.
So we're trying to get this roster right, man.
We got to, man. Adam Peters in here cooking. Shout out to David Brown, gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Appreciate you, gang. Day 1 right there. Appreciate y'all for subbing up. Appreciate y'all for pulling up to the channel. We're going to get into some mock drafts. We're going to get right to it in just a second. But so did you go back and watch the entire Super Bowl?
I watched like second quarter forward. I was like, I'm not about to rewatch this whole thing. But it was a good one. It kind of went the way that I knew it was going to happen. Like I knew it was going to come down to Mahomes winning it at the end. Like, did you really think Brock Purdy was going to beat Patrick Mahomes on the big stage? Like, shame on anybody who actually put money on the 49ers. I wanted the 49ers to win, but I'm smart enough to know that's not how this works. Like, Patrick Mahomes is him.
He's definitely him. He's so him. He's as him gets. Appreciate you, Noah. Appreciate you. Care about y'all as well. We about to get into it. My guy, Zach. What's going on, brother? How we feel? Draft Zach. My guy. We know who Zach wants at number 2. We're going to see where we go in just a second. They said Rio came in late, just like the head coaching hire. I was having a slight bit of technical difficulties before we came on, but I got it rectified a minute late. But we about to get right into it. We about to go. What are your main themes of the draft going into this class for Washington?
I mean, if it's pick 2, it's not to trade back. It's not to roll with Sam Howell next year. It's to actually find a quarterback. But like I said, I was looking at some free agency stuff, pretty much all day today, just trying to get a good gauge. And there's some tight end. There's a tight end or 2 I really like in free agency. There's some offensive linemen I really like in free agency. There's some really good defenders as well, but it's also just like who's going to get tagged and who's not. So I think it's all about just, value. I think, I've been paying close attention to the draft, like top to bottom, probably 5 or 6 years now, like just being a draft junkie. And this is probably the best, like top 100 I've seen ever. Like it's crazy. Like any position you're struggling at, if you have it can be fixed in any of your first 3 rounds, like legit starters, like playmakers. So like for me, it's like, what can you kind of, and it's so funny because people are like, why do you draft him there? Like you can get one later on. You don't know what the heck is going to be later on in the
draft is tricky, man. You never know how the cards are going to shake out. But based on what you said, it feels like a good year for Washington to have 5 top 100 picks and 6 in the top 107, right?
And this is why you make those trades. And it's so funny because I just remember like you and me both talking about it. Like, yes, it's a good idea to trade Montez Sweat and Chase Young because you need these picks to lure Adam Peters over here, but then also to actually rebuild this roster to fit what you want to do. There's no point in investing in guys that are here that you can just, probably don't fit what you want to do, and you don't want to pay them big dollars like the Bears did. And then Chase Young's a free agent again. So it's important to have those picks to be able to build the roster with someone who knows how to do that, especially in these late rounds. Adam Peters is such a good evaluator in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, later rounds. I don't know how true this is, but from people I heard, like they do like San Francisco 49er stuff, they said that he was more in charge of like the 4th round and beyond, kind of like these, like those picks, which is where they found the Kittle.
So he's a day 3 guy pretty much.
Yeah, that I'm like, and they hit a lot. So, like I said, Kittle's a 5th rounder. Dre Greenlaw was a 5th rounder. Like, they find really good talent in these later rounds.
Shout out to Greenlaw, by the way. That has to
dude.
be the most random fucking injury in the history of Super Bowl injuries, bro.
I did see that live. I was like, there's no way like he's just getting hyped up and trying to run on the field, and then he just like popped his Achilles. Like, that's just this is the year of the Achilles, man. We should have known.
Running onto the field for the Super Bowl. I'm sick for him. Imagine his family in the crowd watching this, bro.
Nah, bro.
That feels like some curse shit, some voodoo doll curse Creole type shit. How the hell do you tear your Achilles running onto the
I like Greenlaw too, man.
I love him. That linebacker core, I envy it. Hopefully Ken Norton Jr. can get those guys right. Zach, I know exactly who you're talking about. Somebody we talk about in the group chat every day. We're about to get our first mock going. We'll probably get a couple in. Shout out to my guy John Spoonie P for the $10 donation. He said, does this mock include us trading for Cousins? Thank you. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for always tuning in, the encouraging words. Him and his wife, awesome people. Love those guys.
So Kirk is a free agent, so you don't have to trade anything for him. I was just looking at, like I said, I was doing PFF stuff earlier, like projections. He's projected 2 years, $37 million per year.
Yep, sounds about right. And it's Kirk, and you know how Kirk and McCartney get business done, so it'll probably be north of 40, 45 a year.
37 guaranteed, 60 mil total. I don't know. I was kind of thinking about it today, but like still 30 million of your $73 million in cap. Yeah, you still have money, but dang, man. I don't know, man. Like, I haven't thought about it enough to have an honest opinion on like what I'd be okay with going for Kirk Cousins with this draft that we have.
I'm gonna be very frank. I'm gonna preface this draft right now. We're not going into this with a veteran quarterback signed in free agency, and I'm not even gonna bullshit with it. I started it with Caleb Williams going to Chicago because I'm not going to waste any of our time here. Yeah. He's going number 1, guys. They're not trading that pick. They have to put on the clown and pony show for the next couple months about, well, if we get a certain haul, they're not trading out of the top pick 2 years in a row with uncertainty at the quarterback position when they can reset their timeline with an absolute stud talent like Caleb Williams. He's going to Chicago. So Washington is starting second on the clock with Drake May and Jaden Daniels on the board. Scouts in the chat, pull up your opinions because we're not trading back from this pick.
No.
We are not taking a lineman. We're not taking a skilled player. We are taking a motherfucking quarterback at this position. We are now on the clock. Josh Peters, talk to me. Which quarterback fits what Washington does schematically and what we've hired? Who fits what we're building here in DC?
It's crazy because literally Drake May and Jaden Daniels both do things that Cliff Kingsbury like wants to do. So, and people said, oh, Cliff, like, well, he has to have a mobile guy. That's not the case. You know, with Kyler Murray, like, yes, you alter the offense a little bit so you can actually let him do so. And if we get Jaden Daniels, like, he's going to do that. But when you look at what Cliff Kingsbury likes the most, like mesh concepts, stuff across in the middle, like between the hashes, in the middle of the hashes, where Jaden Daniels struggles the most, he would appreciate a guy like Drake May who can go through these progressions that he wants and find those open guys sitting in zones. Find those man-to-man matchups that he's creating with his schemes. You know, finding Terry cooking some random DB that has no business being on Terry. Yeah. Like in the middle of the field or going deep or whatever. Drake May can do that. Now, Drake May is super young. He's not going to be 22 until like the middle of the preseason, if not the end of preseason. So there might be a little bit of a, you know, training period going on, which he has some time before, like I said, the season starts. So it's really tough because Jaden Daniels has this explosive. It makes it a little easier because Jaden Daniels has the experience. Jaden Daniels also has the legs that says, okay, if I don't feel good about something, if I'm not comfortable doing something yet, I know my legs can either buy me some time or they can make some big plays. But people are sleeping on Drake May's athleticism and his ability to use his feet too.
Bad boy ran for 1,100 in the last 2 years. 1,100 double-digit touchdowns combined. The guy can scoot.
And
Yeah, it's the shade. It's the shade of skin. It's the skin tone.
I'm just
It's the
saying
complexion, man.
they don't want us. It's a new wave. It's like these wide
This is
receivers we got coming, man.
6'5", 230-pound big country white boy,
Yeah.
and forget that boy can scoot too. Like he's gonna run a faster 40 than Allen and Mahomes and them ran.
Oh yeah,
But
they was thick coming out of college.
okay, so we're
It's
talking
tough.
about Drake May, and then we're gonna move to Jaden Daniels before we
Mhm.
make this pick. What do you have to say about the 3 or 4 games in a row this year where his accuracy waned significantly? He was pissing the ball all over the field playing in a weak ass ACC conference. Your defense to that is?
I'll say this: he's had 44 on target drops in the last 2 seasons combined. That's a lot.
Jesus.
44 on these aren't not catchable drops. These are on target drops. And he did. Someone just mentioned Phil Longo. He did switch offensive coordinators. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a huge difference, but there was like some different schematic stuff. I forgot what the new offensive coordinator's name was. That he changed up a little bit different than what Phil Longo did. I love Phil Longo. You know, Phil Longo had Sam Howell, and then he went to Drake May. Like the guy was living a good life, but he was a really good offensive minded coach. I forgot where he went to. It was like Wisconsin or something like that. Maybe it was somewhere in the Big Ten. I can't remember. But I mean, but like I said, Drake is still young. He's only 21. He's not gonna. No one's a perfect prospect. Jaden Daniels made some errors too. It just didn't show up on the stat sheets. But like I have no problem with what Drake May is doing right now. Like in my honest opinion, like people talking about comps, and I know we've talked about comps. Like I think if he plays as long as this guy did in college, I think he would really look like in his last year a Justin Herbert, like that tall style. You know, he the things that's wrong with him is like his footwork. He can fix that. It's very fixable. That's exactly what they did to Josh Allen. Josh Allen had some footwork problems, some mechanic problems. And I forgot what game it was, like 2 years ago. They showed like when Josh Allen was actually playing good. They did a chart just showing like how he stood, like how he used to be like so like his whole body was like curved back and like they just worked on these little tweaks and stuff like that and his accuracy got much better. And I think Drake May is in that same situation. Like his footwork can get a little bit better, but he has the arm talent. He has the ability to make plays, to extend plays. Like, and he has a great touch. Like that's probably the best thing about Drake May is like if it's a short, intermediate, or long throw, he knows like how much touch he needs to put on it. So you want to talk about Sam Howell? That thing is 100 miles an hour every play. Like there is no touch to Sam Howell. It's just, and sometimes it sucks. Sometimes it's not what you need. Like Drake May knows how to just drop it in there. So like I said, it wasn't the perfect offense. They had a really good running back this year, so they ran it a lot too. The offensive line in North Carolina is never good.
Ever.
It wasn't good for Sam, and it wasn't good for Drake May either. But like I said, 44 combined on target drops in the last 2 seasons. Like they didn't have, and Tez Walker missed the first 6 games or whatever this season, or 5, whatever it was. And like he was one of the worst wide receivers after the catch in college football. Like he was the only guy that could actually catch anything. And he wasn't like Josh Downs, for instance, that Sam Howell had his last season. Josh Downs had 100 catches in that one season. Baller. Like Josh Downs was a beast. Yeah, he's killing it.
He appeared immediately for the Colts too. He flashes immediately over there. And the way I look at it, like I can see why people would like either guy. Both guy has their faults. Both guy has their red flags. Yeah. Jaden Daniels went from having the highest or like the second highest uncatchable ball rate in the country a couple years ago to one of the tops in the country. So the improvement is insane. Before we get to the Jaden Daniels Chicago is calling us right now to gauge our interest in Justin Fields. As your co-GM, I'm saying absolutely fucking not. No. I said we're not going the veteran route. I see no reason to part with draft capital for a 3-year player who's still very raw and unpolished as a passer and a guy we need to go to the negotiating table with a year from now for a contract. Is there any interest in Justin Fields on your part?
No, he's going to Pittsburgh.
I think Pittsburgh or Atlanta makes plenty of sense for Justin Fields. Ryan Poles, kick rocks. Talk to us in a later round if you want to make a trade. The trade we wanted to make didn't happen. You enjoy your first round draft pick. We're going to enjoy ours. Jaden Daniels, to me, is better than Drake May today. But I can envision a future where Drake May has the better NFL career. And my main argument for or against Jayden Daniels is, can he win with his arm as much or equivalent to how he wins with his legs? Because a quarterback who wins with his legs first has never won the Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah, like ever.
It doesn't happen. So I know he has one of the best touch fade seam passes I've seen in quite some time, but we haven't seen him drive the ball over the middle enough in college. Is that as fixable as Drake May's mechanical deficiencies?
I think it's definitely harder because, and like, I mean, Jayden Daniels had video game numbers. People are like, oh, that's not right. But like Jayden Daniels sometimes just plays too fast. And like, this is one thing that would drive Cliff Kingsbury nuts. Is, like I said, if he is like scheming something open where you're getting these one-on-one matchups that you really like I said, these crossing routes, these rubs, these mesh concepts.
Look at this comment.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about? With Daniel Jones?
They better get a quarterback too, man. Ain't no way, Jaden. I mean, JJ McCarthy maybe to the Giants to keep the white train going. It's just gonna drive Cliff nuts when he's playing. He plays too fast. Like, he doesn't take the time to actually go through these progressions. Now, two things bailed him out. Once again, his legs are really good, but then he also had Malik Neighbors, who is, I'm not kidding, a lot of people agree with this, very close to Marvin Harrison Jr. as a prospect. Very close. And then he also had Brian Thomas Jr., who's one of my favorite he's like a Julio Jones-esque, like, built in a lab kind of wide receiver. Like, there's no reason a guy that big should get that separation, that body control, that kind of route running ability. And he has that opposite of Malik Neighbors. So, like, if he didn't put up big numbers, I'd be drastically concerned. And they threw it a lot. But it's just gonna drive Cliff nuts if he's not sitting in the pocket, going through these progressions and finding the open guy and making these big pass plays happen. Like, going from college to the NFL, you can't just chuck it deep and just pray to God Terry's going to catch it every time. We've seen that. So I agree with what you said, and I think that's important that people need to, realize that today, if they started a game tomorrow for Washington, I think Jayden Daniels would be the better quarterback. Now, long term, Jayden Daniels played a lot more, football. Is he fully developed right now? Like, what can you get out of Jayden Daniels at the next level? Now, Drake May, you agree with me? I think Drake May still has more to grow, which is crazy because you can see the raw talent there. So it's just like, what do you want? Do you want that long-term guy, or do you want to just say, like, hey, we think Jayden Daniels can be better right now. Let's roll with Jayden Daniels, and he has the legs that can really help him out.
All right, and to punctuate this so we can make a pick, because we got to get on to the second round of the mock draft. Whose ceiling is higher? Who has more special to their game? You watched that Super Bowl on Sunday, and the Niners have the best roster in the league by far. It's not arguable or debatable. But the fact of the matter is their quarterback is not special. While he's a great story and he's a very solid system guy, he can manage the hell out of a game. He's not a game changer. They had 1,000 chances to put Mahomes' dick in the dirt. Their quarterback was not able to do so. You need to have special to compete with that guy that wears number 15 down in Kansas City. Who is more special out of these two quarterback talent?
I don't know. Like I said, and when you really think about it, at the end of the day, you need the arm talent to win big. So, like, in my honest opinion, I'd go Drake May because, like, man, like, it's just, when's the last time, like you said, a mobile quarterback really just won a Super Bowl with his legs?
It's never happened.
Yeah,
it's never happened.
Like, you think about, like, the great plays, whether it's in the playoffs, whether it's in the Super Bowl, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's throwing the ball. Like, even now, it's Mahomes throwing the ball. Yeah, he makes plays with his legs. Brock Purdy made some good plays with his legs too. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to hit these crazy throws and to make big plays. And also, I don't like Jayden Daniels getting hit the way he does. That boy gets blown up sometimes. I'm like, dude, stop. You do not need to do that. And like I said, that's the plays. And I recommend everyone go watch this. Colt McCoy did a breakdown with Underdog Fantasy. Shouts to Underdog.
I watched them both. I watched them both prospects. Yep.
And he talked about it just like, Jayden, the play is there. Yes, you had an 8-yard run or a 10-yard run for the first down, but you had a 25-yard completion that you skipped out on because you left early and decided just to run, and then you got hit hard afterwards. Like, save your body, make the big boy throws. So like I've said this, I'm fine with either of them. If it is draft night and Adam Peters says we have Drake May or we select Jayden Daniels, I'm gonna say cool. I'm rocking with either of them because I think they're both really good.
Same. Exactly. I feel the same. All right, now before we make this pick, if his ceiling hits, who is Jayden Daniels pro comp?
Dude, I don't even think he has like a pro comp. People are gonna say Lamar, but I don't see Lamar.
I see more Watson than Lamar in him. I don't know if it's because he's anorexic and he's built like an Instagram model, but I see a lot of Watson more so than Lamar. Lamar does video game agility shit that nobody in the history of the game has done.
But Jayden did that his last year too. But
he did.
I mean, they have the same like body size. It's pretty close. People say Jayden is small. He's not small, actually. He's just long and lengthy. He's like what 6'3", 6'4".
Mm-hmm. He's a little bit of girth, a little bit of girth.
But like I will say, Watson was a better passer coming out than Jayden Daniels is. Like as a guy who could go through his progressions. Yo, people forget Deshaun Watson was a baller on the Texans, dude.
Oh, he was nasty.
Deshaun Watson was nasty.
Was elite. He was elite before he had an affinity for massage therapists. He was
led
going
the league in passing that one year.
I still remember him having a 24-0 lead on Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game in the divisional round.
I remember there was a game. One of my favorite games ever was like him against the Saints. Crazy game. But
it was a Monday Night Football, right?
Yeah, it was a primetime game. I forgot what.
Yeah, I think it was Monday night. It was Monday night.
Crazy game. Mm-hmm. But dude, like that's the thing. Like I personally hate pro comps. For me, it's just like, what do you think this player can do long term? I think Jayden Daniels can be a better passer. I think if you teach him to slow down and trust his pocket and trust his eyes, I think he can be elite. I think he can be crazy with his legs still. Smart though. You're not going to be calling like 7-8 designed quarterback runs a game. Like that's not responsible. Because then he's going to make his own quarterback plays, like run plays. Man, this is such a hard debate. Like honestly, I'm fine.
Our scouts in the chat feel it seems predominantly leaning on Jayden Daniels, and I don't want to be like the last guy who walked off the fucking boat and made a draft pick. The scouts love Jayden Daniels. They like Drake May or they dislike Drake May. I think I'm going to go with special here. Are you okay with turning in a card for Jayden Daniels? Sir?
That's fine. Like I said, I'm fine if we draft him at 2, great.
Say less. Jayden Daniels, you are a Washington Commander with the second pick of the Rio and Josh Taylor mock draft. How are we feeling going into night 2?
Obviously, like it's funny because like, dude, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be in Detroit. The vibes are gonna be high. I love the draft.
Crazy.
It's just the vibe is going to be, once again, you have a quarterback. And it's such a getting a new quarterback is like Christmas, man. You're just so excited. You're like, oh, we got a shiny new toy. And it's just you're cautious too. You're like, what's this gonna look like? Whether it's him, whether it's Caleb, whether it's Drake May, I don't care. Getting a rookie quarterback, you're like, buckle up. What's this gonna look like?
Shout out to the scouts. Shout out to the scouts. We just got our quarterback, guys. Let's build around Jaden Daniels. Let's put some weight on that boy. Let's get him and Forbes on the Washington Commanders nutrition program of 2024. Let's get some weights and some food and some
some Weight Watchers
for
for weight gainers.
What are we looking at going into round 2? Because we need to protect him and we need to add some more talent off the edge. What are our priorities going into round 2 of this draft?
Like honestly, it's just I'm taking best player. I hate the people that are like, oh Josh, you have to get so and so here. You have to get this position.
No pigeonholes, baby. We get the best player on the board.
Yes, bro, I'm looking. I'm honestly just reading the board, who I like and how they fit. And I'm telling you, I said it the other day. Who was it? The Rams. Was it the Rams? Yeah, the Rams. And they showed the video of them going through Puka Nacua and just being like,
oh my God, that video gives me like that's like a football nerdgasm just listening to them speak about Puka Nacua. Yo, they had a whole ass plan in future for this guy. Oh, he doesn't test well. He's not gonna light it up on camera.
Fifth round pick, and they're treating this guy like they just found Captain America out in the Alps. Like, yo, look at this dude.
That's who you want running your team. Les Snead and McVay had a whole ass plan for a guy that's named like he's a character from a Disney Pixar film. And
Moana
he went
3,
out
Puka Nacua.
Yeah, exactly. Moana 3's co-star Puka Nacua.
but I love that, man. I love that.
That's what you want out of your football department. Before we get on the board, we got a couple calls. We got Rian Carthon calling from Tennessee talking about if it didn't say pick 100, we'd be definitely down to get a first next year just to move back 2 spots. But I'm not giving you 100 just for next year's first. I'm strongly considering it though, because they might not be good this year. So that may be 2 high first rounders next year. So let me come back to that one. Dallas can fucking kick rocks.
Yeah,
absolutely.
56. No.
All right, what are y'all thinking, Scout? Are we thinking about this Tennessee trade? Are we trading 100 so we can get a first rounder next year so we can double dip in the first round?
I was trying to see who's on the board. I mean, honestly, at that point, gosh.
Edgerrin Cooper's my guy. That's who Zach was talking about earlier in the chat when he said, bring home my guy, Rio.
Dude, I love Edgerrin Cooper. That's my linebacker one.
What's his range for Washington? Is he in range with this pick, the next pick? Where are we thinking Edgerrin Cooper's going in this class?
I don't see a linebacker going in the top. I think if Barrett Carter would have came out, he'd have been linebacker 1. The dude out of Clemson. I don't see one going higher than 55.
Like, we staying on the board here, or are we taking Tennessee's trade?
Dude, a first for Tennessee's big, man.
I think we gotta take that shit now. That I think about it.
Dude, take it. That's the top 10 pick to move back.
100, bro. And take 100. We got hey,
we'd be all right.
Hey, we working, y'all. We done picked the
no. We need that 38, man.
Yep, we need it, and we're not moving back 14 spots. Okay, guys, we done picked us up a first for next year for pick 100.
That's a top 15 pick. Lot.
Yep, probably top 10 unless Will Levis absolutely spazzes. I see Graham Barton from Duke, a guy who could play tackle or guard. Jordan Morgan, who's listed as tackle, but will probably play a guard, who struggled a little bit Senior Bowl week. I see a couple air raid dogs, Troy Franklin and Xavier Worthy. Where are we thinking with this pick? Is there any guy that you got in mind?
Ooh, this is tough, man. Jesus,
guys, Sanders and Cooper there, man.
See, they got Cooper higher. So our next pick is 40. So we have 2 picks right here.
Yep, we got 2 picks coming up in the next 3.
Obviously, it depends on free agency, but man, I'm probably going. Right now, I'm leaning Jordan Morgan. I think Jordan Morgan, he was a super quiet guy at the Senior Bowl. We didn't hear a lot about him, but once again, showed up all season. The tape doesn't lie.
Like shit, King Hypno. I know. We could do a lot of things with that 2 first rounders next year.
Oh yeah, you can cook something up, dude. Ladd is a beast too, though.
Ladd McConkey's like that, bro.
Dude, he's ridiculous. I couldn't believe, like, he's one of the best wide receivers I've ever seen live.
I know who he'd play for if Bill Belichick still had a job.
Oh yeah, dude, Ladd. That is definitely a Patriot.
Absolutely.
They will mortgage their future to make sure he goes to New England. Oh
That's
man.
good. That's good. I know what I'm doing with one of these two picks. One of these two picks is going to be Jatavian Sanders, tight end Texas, but
God,
I think
man.
we could probably wait till 40 to get him. I think we almost have to draft a lineman with this pick. So I like Jordan Morgan or Graham Barton. Who are we thinking?
Man, Graham Barton has that flexibility. You know what? I'm gonna switch up. I'm gonna go Graham Barton, man. I do like Graham. I like he can honestly play anywhere on the whole left side, and he can play center too. I think he can play offensive tackle. I can't wait to see what his measurements are at the combine, like arm length and stuff like that. As long as it's above like 37 and a half, like we're good.
So
but if
jack
not,
of all trades, but a master of none.
which is fine. But he's just really good. But he's a baller. But like if he started at left guard for the next 10 years, like sign me up, dude.
Is that where you're plugging him in immediately?
Probably. Like I said, it depends on free agency, but yes, because I don't know what the heck they're gonna do with Charles Leno, man. Jaquan Jackson's a beast too. Yeah, I'm gonna go Barton, dude. Because if you have to, if you decide that Charles Leno is a post June 1st cut, and you save your cap or whatever, then you can plug
Position
Barton.
Flex is giving dudes PTSD. They thinking they having nightmares of Ron Rivera right now. We got to retire the word position flex.
It's a different. I don't even want to call it position flex.
Just call
it's
it
tough,
versatile.
man. Like as an overall prospect, Barton's better than Morgan. If you just want a guy who's going to stick at left tackle, you have Jordan Morgan. But he had some injuries too. But his tape's really good, man.
Malik, all respect to you, brother. Jake Fromm is not a consideration on anybody's roster. Jake Fromm is a career Jag. He probably will never.
Jake Fromm, he's about to take over his dad's business, man.
Yeah, exactly. He's about to run a hedge fund or some shit. Like Jake Fromm is not in anyone's conversation. And bless Howell's heart, Howell is not preventing us from drafting a quarterback. We took Jaden Daniels in round 1. We going Jordan Morgan or are we going Graham Barton here with this pick, Josh?
All right, I'll let the chat decide. Whichever one hits 3 first, Barton or Morgan, whoever gets 3 votes first.
All right, let's get it. Barton or Morgan, y'all. Come on, scouts. We on the clock. We got a minute left on the clock. We want Jordan Morgan, who projects as a guard but could be a left tackle at that.
Morgan.
We want
Jordan, it's Morgan.
Jordan Morgan it is. The chat has spoke. The scouts have spoke. Damn. I'm not gonna Dan Snyder this shit.
Graham Barton disrespect is loud.
Damn, they said fuck the Duke Blue Devils.
But dude, I'm telling you, Graham Barton, he's a people mover. And I'll say this. With Cliff Kingsbury's offense, you want some tackles that can move. You want some guys that can get in space. Graham Barton is that guy.
Jordan Morgan, you are a Washington Command, and the Giants grabbed Graham Barton. Interesting.
Good, they needed to. You're right. They have the very next pick. No,
we're not considering this.
No,
fuck off.
I'm
Cleveland keeps calling us. What does Cleveland want with us this year? What do they have? What's going on over there?
Tell them to hang the phone up, man. No,
I'm cool on this one too. I'm cool.
Yeah, I'm good on any drafts. I mean, any more trades. We got that first next year. Like,
yep. I don't think we need to move back anymore. And
dude,
we got our quarterback of the future. We got maybe a left tackle or a left guard, a starting left offensive lineman in Jordan Morgan in the second round of the draft. We're back on the clock again at pick 40. I see a couple names I like.
Hard.
I love Tyler Nubin.
I love Tyler Nubin.
That's my guy, man.
People, I don't know why, but people think we don't have a safety problem. We do.
We do.
And Campbell Crow's going to get tagged. He's not going to get paid a big bag. He's going to get tagged. And then the new regime's going to evaluate him next season. He's going to get tagged. He's not getting a big bag. I promise y'all. If people really think that Derek Forrest, Percy Butler can really hold down that other side. Dude, I don't think so at all.
Hell no. Even with good coaching, I am not going into a season believing in Percy Butler being I'm throwing a bag at Antoine Renfield if we keeping it a whole buck.
He's about to get tagged.
He probably is going to get tagged, but
they got to, man. Oh, if he's not, absolutely, like
that's a complete safety.
Oh yeah,
playmaker.
But dude,
turnover.
Tyler Newbin is so good. I saw some
He's
crazy
ridiculous.
stats about him earlier.
Insane.
I'll be try to look it up. But outside of that, man, like if you don't get a wide receiver in free agency, holy smokes, dude, you got some dudes that are looking at you too.
Oh yeah, man. But is it too early for Edgerrin Cooper? Because Washington has had a linebacker problem for quite some time. Since the departure of the Iron Man, London Fletcher, we've struggled at that position for years, and we thought our days would change when we hired Jack Del Rio and Ron Rivera to be the coaches of our defense, considering they were both middle linebackers. But we brought in Ken Norton Jr. to help develop speed racer Jamin Davis and hopefully get a true athletic, freaky middle linebacker in the middle. Is it too early for an Edgerrin Cooper?
At 40, man, I think a little bit just because of what's in front. But here's the Tyler Newbin stat. Tyler Newbin allowed only 30 yards receiving all season when he was the primary coverage defender, and he had 5 interceptions.
Yep.
That's
and
ridiculous.
Over the last 2 years, he has what, 12 interceptions?
30 yards as a safety, dude.
That's crazy.
That's like one catch for Washington.
Tyler Newbin is fucking like that,
dude,
bro. You wouldn't have to sell me on this one. I love Tyler Newbin. I would be all for taking Tyler Newbin with this pick.
But like Xavier Worthy, Troy Franklin.
I love Troy Franklin.
Yeah, I like Franklin a lot, man. A legit deep threat. I'm just trying to think, like, this is a really deep wide receiver draft. You can get a Brendan Rice. You can get a Malachi Corley maybe at 67.
Linebacker class is kind of top heavy, like with Edgerrin Cooper, Trotter,
Trotter
Wilson at the top.
Yeah. Peyton might be there at 67. Man, I mean, like for my predictions, like I hope we do swing on Patrick Queen. I do have some limitations on him, but I think we do need a veteran linebacker, and I'm not talking about fucking Cody Barton. I'm talking like an actual linebacker to go with Jamin Davis if he plays next year. Dude, this is tough, man. Like, do you help out Jayden Daniels by giving him a deep threat and Troy Franklin? Like, honestly, dude, it's worth it.
I'm not even gonna hold you. We about to go sex appeal with this one. We're going sex appeal.
It's fine with me, man.
Troy Franklin, wide receiver, Oregon, 6'3" guy with absolute burners. Put him opposite Terry, throw Jahan in the slot, and that air raid is about to air raid on these boys fastly. Troy Franklin, you are a Washington Commander.
He made Bo Nix look like a first rounder, so
he did. He did. It was his speed. We're going Troy Franklin. We got some goddamn speed. We're 3 picks into our mock draft so far. We got Jayden Daniels, Troy Franklin, and Jordan Morgan. Offense. There is no confusion about what the priority is going into this draft. How are you feeling going into round 3?
And honestly, like that is how I've been thinking so far, is like the money will be spent on defense, whether it's re-signing guys or getting some, signing some big names on defense. I'm not going to give away all my picks for tomorrow for my free agent targets. I do have a tight end that I like a lot in that free agency. But I see my guy going up right now, number 83.
I see a couple guys here.
So we're at pick 67 though.
We're at 67 now in the 3rd round. I see a couple guys. The first name that immediately jumps out at me is, if we decide to go edge here, I like Adisa Isaac from Penn State. That's the school you cover, man. Talk to me about Adisa Isaac.
No, Adisa Isaac is a beast, man. I remember he was ranked like 190 something. I'm like, dude, I promise y'all he's going to be a top like 90 pick by the time he leaves the Senior Bowl. You're going to hear a lot about him. Dude's a beast, man. He's so fast off the line. I would love Adisa Isaac here. Go back up to the top though, because I said this today. There's one guy I keep coming back to for Washington. We took Troy Franklin, so obviously we're not going to take him. But Malachi Corley is like the perfect fit, dude. Like for what Cliff did with Christian Kirk and Rondell Moore in Arizona, he is like the exact guy. Like he told me he's working out with the guy who trains Rondell Moore just because of how like size wise and how they play. I think it's a perfect fit. But I like Cedric Gray a lot too. They actually have Cedric Gray pretty high on PFN.
UNC linebacker. Yeah, they have it.
Yeah.
I see a couple interior guys, Cedric Van Pran and Christian Haynes, Bowie State guy, UConn.
Yeah, Haynes
guard,
is good too. Man, this is a
center.
tough one.
Kalen Bullock, that's a natural, that's a pure free safety. Bullock out of USC.
Yeah. Dang.
We probably got to go edge here, though, don't we?
See, that's the thing. All the big name guys are going to get tagged, man. Josh Allen's going to get tagged. Brian Burns is going to get tagged. Then Daniil Hunter's going to hit free agency. I think he's right at 30. So you have him. You have Bryce Huff, AJ Eppen, Josh Uche. But Uche and Huff are in like this weird category. Like they didn't play like every snap. Like they were a rotational guy.
Michael, we drafted Jaden Daniels, Jordan Morgan, tackle Arizona, and wide receiver Troy Franklin from Oregon with our first 3 picks so far. Offense. That doesn't make me say we have to go defense with this next pick, but what are we thinking here?
All right, go back to the top because I just don't see us going that far down. There's a lot of people at the top. Like I said,
I like USC safety. I like the interior guys, and I like a couple linebackers.
Dude, honestly, I'm going Cedric Gray. Like I really like Cedric Gray. He said that we had a lot of conversations with him at the Senior Bowl. He said really good conversations. He's been one of my guys for a while. Like I think we need that. Like I said, I hope we add a veteran linebacker like a Patrick Queen. But outside of like Queen, there's not like you're getting like Devontae David and like or Bobby Wagner or Jordan Brooks. Like it's not the most exciting linebacker group. Like I think getting the talent that is in this draft and linebacker is big too. Whether it's Trotter, Gray, Wilson. I've
seen this name pop up on a lot of draft conversations as a riser. Ivy League guy, Yale tackle. Kieran Amadije. Can you tell me anything about this tackle? Does he project as a left tackle in the league?
I think he plays both. I honestly don't know anything about him, but I know Ian Cummings from PFN likes him a lot.
Yeah, I hear his name buzzing in Draft Street.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't had the time to watch him yet, but man, I was hoping like a guy like Foster would be here. Foster might be at 102, Javon Foster. I mean, we already got a left tackle. So if you're going to go anywhere, maybe attack the interior. It's got to be either a left guard or a center. But honestly, I'm probably going Cedric Gray, man. I think Cedric Gray should be the guy. Yeah.
Cedric Gray linebacker. You
a
like
leader? Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if Peyton Wilson's still on there, but I mean, Peyton Wilson. Dude, he's a beast too. He just has some injury concerns.
Your boy Ben Sinnott is there. We're gonna wait to the 90s.
I know, dude. How is he at 83? I told you, man. He was a diamond too. He was at like 200 and something, like middle of the season. Then he shot up. Ben's a beast too, man.
Cedric Gray. What are we doing here?
I'm going Cedric Gray, man. I really like Cedric.
Middle linebacker.
I think he's a complete guy too. Yep.
Plug him in at Mike and call it a day.
Yep. You would do it better than Jamin ever did.
Yep. Plug him in at Mike and put him next to Speed Racer Jamin, and Ken Norton Jr. is going to get him ready. I love that hire, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I mean, honestly, the whole defensive side of the staff is ridiculous right now.
Yeah, defensive staff is like that, bro. Like, there's no reason we should ever come out and be second to last defense in the league ever again.
I mean, I like the offensive side, too. Just because I said I wasn't the biggest fan of the offensive line hiring. I had people on my neck. I'm like, damn, I've been like the only guy that said I like Cliff.
Exactly. Hindsight 2020, but Franklin Gray less than Cooper Corley. We ball though. Hey, I ain't mad at that. Statement.
Cooper,
man.
That's the thing. Cooper got it. I think his body weight's back down where it's supposed to be, but
this is not a bad trade. This is not terrible. At 102 back from 111, adding 186 and 252.
No, fuck it. I take that, man. Take it.
Yeah, we're gonna move back.
We lost pick 100. We got a first though. We'll at least get some draft capital back.
Yep, we get a little bit more.
I said we weren't going to trade no more. What we did.
Or dartboard. I know. We live and we learn. You know, we say things and then we keep. Yo, Cleveland has tried to trade
desperate as shit.
Every round. What the fuck are they on this year, bro? What are they doing over there in Cleveland, bro? Like, what's happening? So we're back on the board at 111. We just selected our first defensive player with UNC linebacker Cedric Gray. I have no positions in mind at this point. We're letting the board speak to us. What are we looking at this round? I see a couple
Ooh,
names that
I
stand
like
out to me.
Marshawn Lloyd.
Lloyd, USC running
Um,
back, right? I like that too.
ooh, Christian Mahogany though, dude, put him at left guard. Honestly, that's my pick.
Christian Mahogany. I love
Yeah,
Marshawn Lloyd. I think we need a change of pace home run hitter to pair with Brian
we can
Robinson.
get one later though. Like,
But I ain't mad at putting a starting left guard next to our starting left tackle, Christian Mahogany. You're
dude,
a
he
commander.
dominated.
We don't need to think about it like that. He dominated Senior Bowl week.
He was at the Shrine Bowl, and
Shrine
like
Bowl.
he was at 100. Like everybody else is at like 80 something. Malik Washington was really good too. But like every day, I was just like, "Yep, Christian's running dudes over." I was really hoping he was going to get called up to the Senior Bowl, but they said that they're not going to do that anymore. Like,
Talk to me about Audric Estime. What kind of running back is
dude.
that?
I was getting ready to say Aldrich is another guy too. He's a big zone runner. I think he'd be a really good fit.
Oh, he just went off the board. God damn it.
Yeah, no, that's one guy. Honestly, I was looking at. I was like, "Yo, honestly, I wouldn't mind Audrich Estime though." Like, oh, dude,
I see a tight end that one of my group chat guys has an affinity
Holker.
for. Dalen Holker out of Colorado State, man.
Let me see. Holker, Malik Mustafa, Dominic Pooney, a little late round guy. We already got
Ike Smith. I like him out of Georgia.
Yeah, Luke
Luke
McCaffrey's underrated too. Dude, honestly, I kind of agree with you with the Holker pick.
I think Holker, we're gonna get us a tight end. Is he gonna be our George Kittle?
Hey, I mean, like I said, Adam Peters finds those late round guys, man. I think Holker has a lot of upside to him.
I don't know if it was the one hand toe tap touchdown that did it for me. He went crazy versus Dion in Colorado. If you haven't watched Dalen Holker yet, watch the Colorado highlights.
Yeah, that was a good one.
You're gonna be so. I want to see me a big ass tight end wearing a single digit here with long hair coming out his helmet. That just looks like the archetype.
Whoever gonna be the tight end next year gonna get that 0, man.
I need it. I need him or a linebacker. I need someone that plays an imposing position.
Rocking a 0.
Cedric Gray or Dallin Hooker. So we went with tight end out of Colorado State, and I'm liking how we're doing so far. We got
Jaden Daniels, Jordan Morgan, Troy Franklin. Take the top off, Troy Franklin. Then we got Cedric Gray.
Mahogany. And if you can't tell, we are building around a motherfucking young quarterback over here. It is offense heavy as shit over here, man. I think the defensive guy, I think Dan Quinn's going to say, all right, y'all got a little bit too much dip on your chip. Give me some guys to roll with here.
But I think the money is more well spent in free agency on the defense.
On the defensive side.
Yeah, like swing big on the L'Jarius Sneed. Or like I said, Antoine Winfield, like swing big, man. You're probably going to, like, you ideally would like to re-sign Kendall Fuller back, because if not, you better take a corner in that second round. Or you better get Sneed. If not, you're gonna have Forbes and St. Juste out there taunting his teammates. And that's just not ideal. So I think free agency, like, you spend that money on defense.
We're now at that point of the draft where if I don't know who the player is, I'm not even going to pretend like I do. So what's on the board, speaking to you right now, I feel like we got to take some sort of defensive player, a secondary player.
I'm telling you, Dylan, go back up, Lobby out of New Hampshire. He was the only running back that had like a certain receiving grade and running grade and like all of college. Like, he is like a true like dual threat running back, if you want to call it
utility back.
Oh yeah, and his name came up a lot at the Senior Bowl too. Like, he looked really good.
What's his size profile?
Oh geez, I have no idea.
What does he look like?
He's just a shifty white dude. That's
so yeah, Danny Woodhead.
Yeah,
we typecasting him with Danny Woodhead.
Let me see. Let me try to look it up. No, Newsome, no.
How about the safety out of Ohio State?
Josh Proctor. People like him. I don't. Oh, Christian Jones, right tackle though. Dang it, man. He had a really good week at the Senior Bowl too, man. Like, he has some rawness to him he needs to work on. Blake Watson. I don't know, man. Memphis running backs. PTSD.
I've heard the name Muhammad Kamara from the edge from Colorado
really
State.
Productive, dude. Yeah, I mean, Holker and Kamara are like the only two good guys on that team.
On the entire roster.
Man, it's gonna drive me nuts if I don't find Dylan. Because he is a
You know
stud.
anything about the Boise State running back? He's got some speed to him, right?
Halani, one of them transferred somewhere else. I don't think it was him. The one you're thinking about, I don't think he didn't declare.
Wow, the Minnesota tight end still on the board at 199. That's crazy.
Brent Joe, he's big. He's this is a pause, but he's really tight. he's a he's a little stiff. He's a little too stiff in the wrong spots. Yeah, so he had 68 catches for 708 yards and 7 receiving touchdowns.
Okay. My guy Philip said Anam Dankwa, 6'8", 350. God, that's so big. Tackle from Howard University, kicked ass at the Shrine Bowl. That just sounds too big. Like he sounds like
that's
he has that
Mekhi
Becton. Like my knees are not gonna last more than a year or two in there. I feel like we got to go defense. I feel like I never wanted to say we have to pick a defensive player.
Marshawn Nealon is a really good edge too, dude. Really good. He had some really good plays at the Senior Bowl. He was a super productive guy this year too.
Commander.
Dude, like honestly, like I would really like him. Like he was standing, like he was going against like Fuaga. Who was some other right tackles that were looking good? Christian Jones looked good.
How was Tyler Guyton looking out there?
Oh yeah, Guyton was another one. Beast. Like
all right, so do we want to take your New Hampshire kid here? Do we want to go grab us a corner from Nebraska? What are we thinking here with this next pick?
Dude, Dylan would be a perfect second back here, man.
I'll take it because it's not going to be Chris Rodriguez.
No, and it's not
going to be. He's going to be the strong back that spells Brian Robinson, but he's not going to be like a change of pace type dynamic.
Yeah. I had someone tell me that re-signing AG should be a priority.
Absolutely fucking not.
No,
I don't pay running backs unless their name's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, or Derrick Henry. Dude, honestly, I'm totally fine getting Dylan.
Okay, I'll take it. I'll look at the tape later. I'll trust my guy here. I'll trust my co-GM here.
That dude is shifty. He makes some big plays.
I like how offensive heavy this draft is, bro. Like we are stacking. Jaden Daniels, you have no exactly. Offense is terrible.
Yeah, quarterback, tackle, wide receiver. We got a linebacker and an edge.
Oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? We got a little defense. I trust, like, if there was one thing I can guarantee about this team with the hirings we've made, is that the defense is going to be significantly improved.
Like, oh yeah.
Even as is, before we add and improvise with the roster, I know the defense is not going to be what it was because there's better teachers, there's better coaches, and there's going to be a better scheme brought here. Jack was pretty much like, this is the scheme, and you're going to do this shit till it works, not trying to make adjustments, not going with the flow of the game.
Yeah, and if you just think about it, like drafting like an edge, yes, that's a big need. Linebacker, yes, it's a need. What do you think about like corner? Are you going to take one in a second? And like who?
Convert Logan Thomas back to no, we don't want to see that. We don't.
Logan Thomas, he's not going to
for a trick play. I don't even want Logan Thomas back on the roster.
Nah,
I'm cool. I'm cool, man. I'm not sleeping on Chris Rodriguez, but he's not a dynamic back. He's a power back. He's not going to be someone we're going to throw passes to, get out in space, or expect a home run to be hit for him. We got a bunch of single and double hitters at running back. We need a guy that could take it to the crib, that can go yard with it. We don't have that on the roster right now.
And I was really impressed because, like, you know, I'm an Alabama fan. B-Rob was not catching passes like he did this year at Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had some big plays catching the ball. And with Cliff, once again, you got to be able to catch the ball. The real Benjamin just said Ray Davis. Ray Davis would be a great running back here. Great running back. But Ray Davis is probably, I'd say a fourth, fifth rounder.
What are we doing here?
If I said we didn't take an edge, I would take my boy Gabe.
We did take an edge. We took the guy out of
Yeah, I said if we didn't take an edge.
Oh, okay.
We
Yeah,
got
we
neither.
took Nealon. We got Marshawn.
But I like Gabe Murphy a lot. He's a beast too.
We haven't drafted anyone in the secondary, and that's a little worrisome to me. Did we draft somebody from the secondary?
No. And I saw Malik Mustafa. I think he's already gone though. Go back up.
That the Wake Forest guy?
Yeah.
We gotta go linebacker again with LSU.
Oh, Dadrian Taylor Demerson out of Texas Tech. He's nice too. He had a really big. Yeah, they don't have anything.
What kind of safety is this? A strong safety?
I don't know how they were using him at Texas Tech, but I know at the Shrine Bowl he was playing everywhere.
It's a cool name.
Yeah, dude. Oh, yeah, DTD. Can you imagine, man?
DTD. Oh, I love the initials. I love the initials.
Everything I was watching at the Shrine Bowl, though, I was going to talk to him because he followed me back on Twitter. But everything I saw, I was like, yo, he was balling out. But they said you can move him like between the box and he could go back to. He was like a rangy guy. Like he's kind of like this. And the thing is, like, I like Quan, dude. I think Quan's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think under this tutelage of Joe Witt Jr., Joe Witt Jr. developed that Cowboys secondary to be fucking like that. So I trust them getting something out of them. And when I found out that Forbes was very high on their draft list, and that's who they were hoping would fall to them at pick 26 last year, that gives me signs that we may get something out of the praying mantis known as Emmanuel Forbes. But we're down to our final. He's built like a praying mantis, a grasshopper, whatever you want to call it, bro. But we're down to our final pick of our 2024 mock draft stream. What are we doing here?
So, by the way, DTD, Dadrian Taylor Demerson, he is ranked on PFF as 109 prospect now.
Wow.
Yeah, after people started actually watching him after the Shrine Bowl. He played 485 deep snaps, 202 in the slot, 113 in the box. So, very fluid guy. Yeah, no, he's got some super high force and completion rate, 20%. Really good missed tackle rate, really good coverage grade. Dude, I mean, this guy's stats wise, this guy's a unit. And he's right at 6 foot, 195 pounds. So
Keon Coleman is falling according to everybody in the league. Why is that? Is it because they think he lacks separation at the next level?
Yeah. He makes the crazy catches and stuff like that. But yeah, people were going off about Keon Coleman early, and then people actually started watching well, this wide receiver class has a lot of really good guys. Maybe we should be watching Keon Coleman.
Jaden Daniels is RG3 2.0. I don't believe that. One, I don't think the ego is there. Like RG3 was very RG me, and he still is that to this day. He can't even call a football game without making every fucking thing about himself. He is like the ultimate narcissist. But I don't think from a play style they're the same or similar either, especially as a runner. Like Robert kind of ran with blind rage. Jaden Daniels picks his running lanes meticulously and has peripheral vision. He creates with his eyes and his legs. Like Robert was a completely different type of play. I don't see the comparison other than they're just black and mobile. And won the Heisman.
Yeah, they won the Heisman.
I don't really.
And we would pick up at number 2.
Yep.
People see that and like, oh.
We got to stop. We got to get out of the typecast thing. We can't take May because how? We can't take Stroud because Haskins. Like, we got to stop school scouting and just picking someone who looks like somebody and saying, nope, we can't take him because he looks like this guy. That's very lazy. Imagine if the Texans didn't take CJ Stroud because of some dumbass S1 cognitive score and because Dwayne Haskins, Fields, and other guys struggled in the league a little bit. Like, imagine that. What do we think? So how are we finishing out this draft, Josh?
Let me see. Is that the top? That's the top.
We didn't take one corner. I don't like that.
But
I think we're going to spin there, like you said, in free agency.
Yeah. Storm. Someone said Storm Duck. I think he went back. I think he transferred somewhere else. Storm Duck.
Awesome name. I would draft him just because his name.
Oh, Anthony Gould's a good.
Hey, I like this name. DeCamerion Richardson.
Mississippi State? Nope.
Not going back to that well.
Nope.
I bet he weighs 150.
Jarius Monroe. He had that pick 6 in the Shrine Bowl game. He had a couple big interceptions this year.
What's his size profile? Is he a longer corner? Do you know?
They probably don't even have him
Yeah,
on
they
here.
don't. They don't have the profiles of all these
Nah,
guys.
I'm on PFF
I
now.
ain't even gonna pretend like I know these niggas. Like I'm not even gonna do that to myself.
No, I just know. Yeah, I don't even see him on PFF at all.
We ain't take a corner, so I'd be very solid if we're taking a corner back here.
Is it?
Or if there's like a kick returner people know of in the chat.
I see another Howell. Who's that?
Tyrone Howell, University of Louisiana Monroe.
I'm good.
The roster.
Yo, Cody Schrader if we didn't take a running back.
I gotta go skill position here. I want some type of skill. I want a corner.
You don't want a corner? John Trey Hunter's a good linebacker too.
Let's take the corner out of Tulane, bro.
Yeah. He nice.
Play the lottery with a corner out of Tulane, and that's going to complete our first mock draft of the 2024 cycle. Let's get us a nice little close-up of the class. How you think we did, man?
I like it, man. Like I said, the biggest thing is going to be spending money in free agency on the defense, and then filling that offense. Jaden Daniels, like I said, if you want a guy who's going to be really good day one, I think Jaden Daniels would be better than Drake May. Now, if you go back in year 3 and say, all right, who's the better quarterback? It's probably going to be Drake May. But once again, I'm fine with either of those. I'm not going to argue with people and call people stupid on Twitter because someone says they want Drake May or Jaden Daniels. I'm fine with both. Jordan Morgan, yeah, he is super small, but he makes plays. Jordan Morgan, left tackle, day 1. Awesome. He went against the best pass rush guys in the college. I mean, you talk about UCLA, Braylon Trice at Washington. Who else they play this year? USC. I think they played Oregon this year too. Oregon's got some dudes coming off the edge. So like the best pass rushers were in the Pac-12 this year. And I'm an SEC guy.
Yeah, that Titans trade probably is not happening though. We know that, but we know what I'm saying. We can sometimes you gotta finesse the board if they offer it to you.
Hey, they offer. Yeah, we got a 2025 first. Don't forget about that little word, the little words down there. But then Troy Franklin going deep, dude. I have my concerns with Troy Franklin, but I still really like him on the outside. And I'm a giant Cedric Gray fan, man. I'm the biggest Cedric Gray. Like when it comes to positions, Ben Sennett's my tight end. Cedric Gray is my linebacker. I really like Cedric Gray. Super cool dude. And then Christian Mahogany, he's a day 1 starter at left guard. That dude's like
2 lineman starters, 2 offensive linemen.
Like that's honestly what it really excites me about that left side. As much as I love Cedric Gray, as much as I love Jaden Daniels and Troy Franklin, getting Jordan Morgan and Christian Mahogany would be an A++ on that left side of the line. And then Dalen Holker, big receiving guy. I think he'd be a little bit better blocker, but I think he's still good. Marshawn Nealon is a guy people need to watch. I love these like middle random pass rushers that people don't really know, like Carl Brooks last year out of Bowling Green. Like a guy like him, you hear Western Michigan, you're like, what, Corey Davis? Like no one comes out of Western Michigan, but dude is a beast. Like he was making so many plays at the Senior Bowl. I was like, I love his game. And then
Matt
Dylan
said we should have took the Florida boy Ricky Pearsall over Franklin and got another alignment. What you think?
Nah, Troy Franklin clears Pearsall a lot.
Bro,
Pearsall nice too. Like I said, we got a wave of white boys coming through, man.
He was killing it. He was killing it at the Senior. I know team all white getting freaky now.
White, bro. We got 3 dudes coming through this draft, man. Luke McCaffrey, Ladd McConkey, and then Pearsall. Pearsall, he got banged up a little bit, but yeah, he was killing it. And then Dylan Lobby.
McConkey might be the best white receiver ever. Yo, Ladd McConkey.
No, his footwork. Like people, I'm not even kidding. There was like people, they even said this on NFL Network. They said he had AB's footwork, which is ridiculous. If you get compared to Antonio Brown's foot, he has probably the best ever. Someone said that their comp
Ocho and AB to me are the best footwork I've seen at the receiver position.
My favorite, and I told you I hate comps, but someone said that this player reminds them of Ladd McConkey. They said Doug Baldwin.
Ooh,
I was
I
like,
like that.
yo, I love that. Like it,
He's a very
yes,
detailed guy. I like
he is
that.
a footwork like god. His release package is my favorite.
I think people forget because the CTE and the behavior of how great Antonio Brown in his prime was.
Ridiculous.
Antonio Brown was like the most unstoppable fucking receiver, yo.
Dude, what's so funny is when you do the scouting academy and like you're learning everything about like the wide receiver position and stuff. I mean, they break down everything from like pressure steps, like single move releases, everything. And they're always showing like an example of it in the NFL. I'd say 70% of the videos were of Antonio Brown, like running routes. It was like Antonio Brown, Amari Cooper, and Doug Baldwin were like the three guys. But like when you're trying to learn how to get open, those are the three guys you watch.
Thoughts on Spencer Rattler? That's a note for me, but I do love the redemption arc. I do love how much better he's gotten since he's humbled himself and went to South Carolina, but
Yeah.
absolutely
I
no
like
for me.
he surprised the heck out of me. Like he was the only guy at the Senior Bowl where I was like, okay.
He shined on Nix and Penix.
Yeah, Penix and Nix did nothing. Like literally, it's just like easy little plays or like 7-on-7s. Like I'm gonna tuck it and run. Like what?
Remember that 1 week span where Washington Twitter,
I
who
don't want to
turned
talk
on
about
college for the
it.
first
I
time,
want to talk
they
about
was talking about Penix at 2. Fuck
the
out of
Texas. And the thing is, like, I don't even want to get into Penix, man. That Texas game was like something we have never seen from Michael Penix all season. People are like, yo, this guy's the best thing ever.
It was an out of body experience, and we're talking about 100-year-old quarterback with two transformed knees, a cyborg shoulder. Like, what are we even talking about with Michael Penix, bro?
Who
Brittany said Ron traded up for a long snapper. I know.
who was the guy that was on Rich Eisen's show not too long ago, and he said that more scouts believe that Michael Penix has a better chance of going undrafted than he does going in the first round.
Oh yeah, I heard that, and that wasn't Joel Cloud. It was the other dude. I was obscure guy, but always comes on with like
obscure.
He's very obscure, but he's known. He's out there.
I forgot who it was. I watched that video.
Hell yeah, and I've been saying for the longest time, Penix wouldn't even be on my board.
Yeah, the medicals are. I like him. Like he's good. I like if I had to draft him, it'd be in the third or fourth.
Are we saying at 2 or in the second round? Because if he's in the second round, absolutely Tyler Guyton.
Oh yeah,
but I think he's going in the 20s in the first round of the draft. Malik Washington, he's a guy everybody's been talking about. I heard him talking about him on Stock Exchange.
That's my boy. Yeah,
first draft. That name.
He's super small too, but I don't care. He gets open. He's always open.
I know. We're finally moving on from Ron and company. I feel good about this class we just put out there. We got a quarterback. We got him a couple weapons. We got him some protection. We got our centerpiece linebacker that we finally got a guy that made 140, 150 tackle. Ken Norton Jr. may develop his next Bobby Wagner over here. We got a potential starting tight end candidate. When you turn on the tape, you know what I'm saying? We could have hit our mid-round gem like George Kittle. I like how we did. How you think we fared?
Dude, I'm telling you, I like it, man. And I know those, and I'm telling you, like, this is where Adam Peters is so good. Those 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round guys. He was not in charge for all the mess that they were doing with those first 3 rounds, you know, getting Cameron Lott to trade up from Moody. I mean, Moody still made some big kicks this year. He missed some too, but I don't think he had anything to do with the Trey Lance trade anyways.
He was booting that hoe in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was. They had to. But man, like honestly, that and then you get Snead, Patrick Queen, and Connor Williams a free agency. Like, yo, sign me up.
David Brown, that's what I'm talking about there. I'm not going to sit here and say it's because the second round curse of the last 20 years, but I'm all for us parlaying this heavy load of draft capital into picking twice on night 1 of the NFL draft, either for a left tackle to pair with the quarterback or to make it a sex appeal trade up. Go give Jaden Daniels one of his receivers from LSU. Go up and get Brian Thomas Jr. to pair with Jaden Daniels. That would be sexy on night 1 of the draft.
And I will say this. I would trade Jordan Morgan and Troy Franklin for Brian Thomas Jr. or Tyler Guyton any day.
Absolutely. And if we can get back into that last ass end of the first round, I'm here for it. We are done for the night. Thank y'all for pulling up in the chat. Make sure you smash that like button and make sure you sub up to my guy, Josh Taylor's channel. Let them know where to find you and where to follow you if they don't already.
Yep. On X, at Josh Taylor FB, and then same thing on YouTube. Everything is at Josh Taylor FB, honestly, or just JTFB for the YouTube channel. Like I said, tune in tomorrow. I'll be on Bleacher Report at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Yeah, 1 o'clock Eastern time. Going over some free agency targets, my top 5. I can't do all of them, but I'll do that on the channel eventually. But top 5.
Absolutely. Y'all go ahead and follow the guy, sub him up. Let's get him to 3K, 5K, 10K, and beyond. Let's keep going up on the channel.
Oh, we had 3K.
Yeah, we got to keep going. We got to keep going. We got to get you to 5 by the draft, baby. We got to get you to 5 next. Congrats on 3K. And we picked up an extra first. So can't nobody tell me shit about this class, bro. We hit needs. We hit sex appeal. We hit some sizzle. And we added an extra first that's probably going to be a top 10 pick next year, considering the Titans have a rookie coach, a second-year quarterback going into his second scheme in 2 years. Washington's future is looking brighter than ever. Thank y'all for pulling up in the chat tonight. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders, bleed burgundy and gold to the death of you. Commanders Rio and Josh out.